Okay, everybody, the Lexus ES-350 2010. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the first thing that we got going on is there's been some work that's been done to this car over the years. The engine and transmission are still original. She did have to change out underneath the flex pipe for the catalytic converter system. The tires do lose a little bit of air. All four of the tires are Michelin tires, and the paint on this car is insane. Okay? It's got, and as you can see, it's an ES-350. It's got dual exhaust tips, and the way you know that it's an ES-350 is by the badging, of course, but you also know what engine is it by then, because at 330, you know what it's gonna have? It's gonna have a 3.3 liter, and the chrome wheels are a little bit pitted and thing, but look at the paint in this car. I mean, really, try finding me a Chevy that looks half as good as this thing. And, of course, it's only got 86,812 miles on it, which is nothing for a 2010. I mean, you listen to the engine in this thing. Just runs. Now, these do have some issues with the tires losing air, but hey, it's old. She doesn't put many miles on it. If you gotta fill the air up every here and there on these things, it's not the end of the world. Now, she was thinking about getting a Nissan. The customer was thinking about getting a Nissan, right? And it had 90,000 miles on it. You know what I said? Run away from that car. I mean, just listen to this thing. It's pushing 15 years old, and listen to that engine. Try finding me a Kia that runs like that. You know, and I do hear, I mean, if you got eagle ears, I do hear a tiny exhaust leak, which a lot of times that does happen on these things because there is a flex pipe on these. You would think the flex pipe does what it's supposed to, but not when it's a main car. The flex pipe flexes as you change gears. But of course that flex pipe gets old and sloppy as you change gears on a 15-year-old car. Now, what I do want to show you is these things also have a recall where the dashboard will turn into molasses and get all sloppy and kind of gooey, but it still hasn't happened in this car. There are minor things that you look out for in this car because it's a Lexus. It's not a Chevy where you're looking for a blowing up engine. And one of the other minor issues you can upgrade to an Android or an Apple is the speakers in back here. If you listen to a lot of loud rap music, there is a subwoofer, at least on the LS430s here, that is notorious for blowing out and sounding muffled. But hey, you know, Chevy products, $20,000. You know how much an Android is for this car? $400. And we'll look underneath the thing too. Look for any rust. Okay? Not bad at all. I mean, come on. There's a little surface rust. Oh my God. A little bit of surface. Now, she's got this thing cleaned up underneath. That exhaust system is original. Oh, they had to fix the flex pipe right there, so the first cat has been done on this car. But look at the muffler in this thing. I mean, really. And I also want to mention something on how to tell if one of these has been flooded. You can see that this one's not been flooded because if they're flooded, the arm will be rusty on these things. Okay? Now, the radio looks like an Easter egg, kind of. And it's also got reverse, got neutral, park, and it's also got sport shifting that you can play around with. And it does have... Oh, well, that happens. The new ones have a manual brake or a computer system brake. And let me tell you, those things break all the time. Okay? And of course, with 86,000 miles, you're not part A because it's a Lexus. It's, the paint is in excellent condition on this thing. Now, there is one thing that you want to keep note with this car. Is it looks like it's the size of the Titanic on the inside, but these things were originally designed for golfers, right? And if you're gonna be like Andrew Dice Clay and you need a giant taxi to haul people around, a car for you. Now, if you're a young guy and you like a good running car that's in good condition and you only got you and your spouse and maybe one kid, this is a great car to buy because and then he'll learn how to drive as a hand-me-down because these things last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years. But I mean, you just look at this thing. I would not buy that Pathfinder with the 10-foot pole because it's a little pitted right there. People don't look at these cars for the little bit of pitted chrome. They look at it and say, wow, that thing's in good condition. Wow, my Impala fell apart. So, if you want more Ryan...